All right. So as we were briefly talking about online, today's the old National Signing Day, which uh, means I guess essentially nothing anymore. So
I think there's a couple guys here or there that are, but
yeah, I'm sure there are.
today used to be a big day, Everybody's up in front of everybody. You got your hats spread apart, and guys that are still on the fringe are making decisions, and the guys that are, all good, ready to sign, like they're signing, they're taking their pictures, and now it's like, all right, maybe one or two guys. That early signing day is the time, right?
That's the time, and there's not that many spots around after that either. So that's the other part.
And those guys that have signed already as part of that early signing group, a lot of them are already on campus.
Right. There is no such thing anymore as a National Signing Day. Like the early signing period is the National Signing Day. It's wild.
It's changed quick.
You know what else is going to change is NIL, and so I'm curious how it's all going to end up going. But the old system of outside money is the old system, the new system could be the old system. So basically, they're going to have like this cap of like 22, 23 million to Division I schools, and they're going to come down to obviously 105 scholarships potentially, right? And the 22, 23 million is supposed to be distributed to all sports, right? So,
okay.
So yeah, so the whole thing on that is really interesting because how people are saying that maybe like 12, 13 million will be allocated to football. Well, Ohio State's
payroll
last year was 20 million. So, and so then, and then on the outside, I think you're in a situation where they're trying to say that it has to be a bona fide NIL deal. Good luck with that.
Define bona fide.
Define bona fide. Derek's
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles decides they want to give someone $10 million. I mean, he's going to give him $10 million.
How many car dealerships can you do deals with?
Yeah,
How many nutrition stores? How many t-shirt businesses? How many
I could create an LLC tomorrow, right? Derek's Chicken and Waffles.
There you go.
And give $10 million to Derek's Chicken and Waffle to start up Derek's Chicken and Waffles, which will be held out of a PO box.
100%. Here's your address. Oh, okay. Let me roll up to Derek's Chicken and Waffles, and there's no building here.
But it's a legal company, and their operation, the operation it still is Derek eating chicken and waffles and handing out money.
Look, I have an X account. I have an Instagram. I have you know what I mean? Like,
come on.
It's and what are you going to do? Send somebody out to check on these bona fide, real businesses or donator or whatever it is that are throwing money? Like,
how are you policing that?
How are you doing it?
You couldn't police it before. Now you think by like taking the TV money and distributing it that's going to do it. And then the bigger conferences are going to want more money. The bigger schools are going to distribute more money. So I don't see that at all being the model. I don't see that at all being the case. I think outside money is going to continue to be, and they might have a cap inside, but I still don't see how you're going to be able to stop people from giving money on the outside.
What do you mean by inside?
Meaning, so they're going to say that, like I said, the university's fund is going to athletic fund, let's say, is going to have $22 million to distribute to the
total.
something like that. I think that's
within all athletics, though.
all athletics.
Football to crew to swim to hoops.
Yeah.
Take football and men's basketball.
Get it out of there. Let it have themselves. I mean, because there's no way, dude. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have the outside funds. Like, so, okay. So I get, you get as a player, they say, yeah, Mr. Quarterback, you're getting the most on a team. You're going to get $250K. I don't know. I'm just making this up, but you're going to get $250K. And Mr. Crew player, whatever, rower, you're going to get $25,000. Like, what? No way, dude. Like, no way. Like,
then they're going to justify, well, right? Football brings in this, crew brings in this, right?
Who loses money? Swimming loses money.
Majority of collegiate sports lose money.
I think all that,
right? Like, I don't think people really understand that whole thing. Like, other than, right, and we talk about them all the time, football, men's basketball, what, maybe
women's basketball,
right? If you're at UConn,
and Tennessee and Iowa,
right,
and
your top 25s,
yeah, top, like, maybe not even the whole top 25, maybe top.
Dave, there's no way Seton Hall women's basketball produces a profit.
No. I just look at that division that, like, UConn's in, for example, the Big East for women. Not the men's side's more competitive.
Men's different.
On the women's side, I mean, when they play Seton Hall, it's a joke. It's a 40-point win that could be 150 points. Like,
and it's been like that forever,
years. Like, if someone from the Big East beats them, it's like a monumental.
It's huge.
Now women SEC basketball teams are good. So, or some more of them are good. Like South Carolina, obviously, is really good. LSU is really good. But outside of that, like, I mean, there really is. It's not that there aren't scholarships, and it's not bashing women's sports. It's just saying, it's just there's only certain groups that are making money there too. So, I don't. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I like. Football is just gonna and men's basketball are just gonna need more monies. Period. End of story. Like,
it's just gonna keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, they need more money because that's who's watching. People are watching on TV. Like, that is, like, you won't have that TV money if it wasn't for those sports. And so, if they want to push that out, I think there's going to be a problem. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, it's like, overall the structure is kind of like a wacky situation. And then and obviously below FBS is a totally different deal. So, like, how that will all work, but it's interesting. And it is wild, signing day not being a thing that's to me is like, after years of, well, it hasn't been like that in a handful of years, but since they went to that early signing period, that part is just. Now, I think the colleges like it better. I think the players like it better because they're kind of done. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like because I don't know what that part would be like as a player because I just was part of the other signing day when everybody signed. So, I don't know. To me, it was exciting, the old signing period.
It was great.
But I get it. They want them to enroll early. They want them to. It's such a business, and which is fine, but
you're gonna need not only GMs at that level, you're gonna need like salary cap people now that are gonna have to keep track of, hey, we gave this guy this, and how's it gonna work? 22 mil per year, right? And then it's okay, you're allocated 10 million. All right, divvy it up. Class of 2025, class of 2026, class of 2020. Does everybody now get that 22 mil per year? How are they going to, you know what I mean? Is that how that's going to work?
Right. That's a good question. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, when is like the fiscal year? When is it going to be? When do you reset?
Yeah.
Again, the calendar will come
You're right. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. So, like, because of ongoing
recruitment, transfer portal,
right, and new people's money's coming in, guys going
now it's
going to
be even more of a push to sign.
Hell yeah!
That's the case. Right, Dave? Like,
it's gonna be 1 year deal.
You got to sign now so I can get you your money for this because I still have this. If you go to this next one, okay, at the beginning of it, I have a lot, but it's going to dwindle as I give to people. And then with the transfer portal, what if this guy picks up? You're always going to need like that extra in the kitty in case one of those guys comes and now, I don't have any money left to pay him. Somebody else might have it. Or that's when you got Derek's Chicken and Waffles with this, the petty cash.
Absolutely. That's why there's no way that's going away. I mean, I don't care. If they say it's going to go away, all it's going to happen is just going to go back. People giving people money under the table. I mean,
and it's going to go back to duffel bags and sneakers.
Yeah. You can send a couple my way.
Neon Bordeaux. We gave him a fully loaded Lexus.
That was a
tractor. We gave a guy a tractor. House, job.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
I mean,
you're quoting blue chips, right? No,
100%.
I know that's your one of your favorites, at least.
No, the Western University Dolphins.
That was a great movie. I was ahead of its time. And
way before its time,
Shaq, Penny Hardaway. Who else was in that?
Penny Hardaway. Nick Nolte was the coach, dude. What a great role.
Nick Nolte was always great in those roles.
Dude, wearing that sweater and shit. Gotta go. Let's go.
He looks like a obviously basketball coach. He looks like it.
But I mean, like, there's always, you know what I mean? Like, in all of those movies, right? Blue Chips, The Program, right? Like, they're obviously, yes, it's like a fictional movie, but it's also somewhat reality. And in that, right, like the school colors, just like UCLA. In the program, school colors, Florida State. Like,
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking up. I'm trying to see if there's news like live track.
People posting pictures for signing day that doesn't happen anymore because they're already on campus.
Let's see. So here, 2025 National Signing Day. Here are the four headline articles. Haywood commits to Michigan. Recruiting rankings. Okay, let's see if we got any storylines. Let's see. I mean, there's like they can't even get content on this. There's no content, dude.
There's no more.
There is nothing. Like,
there's no more. Hey, I pick up the Georgia hat, throw it into the crowd, and grab a Bama hat. Like,
who is announcing Wednesday? Denton Ryan, offensive tackle. Ty Haywood.
What is he? A tight end?
Tackle. And then Philadelphia. And Motep, edge defenders here.
There you go.
Literally,
stud of a school.
Literally, there's two that people care about. Two.
Dude, our feeds used to be out of control.
Oh yeah, if I go on
schools would be rolling through every time that the faxes would come through.
Yeah,
the coaches would be all like, "We got them. Oh, here's the first one of the day, 6:37 a.m." Like,
yeah, that was great. It was like Christmas.
Dude, remember how the night before we'd be all juiced up? Like, dude, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Who's gonna flip? Where's the story gonna go?
It did start to change a little bit.
Of course.
Over time, even before that, like where guys weren't signing like the best players we're deciding to like. But the good thing about the
Like,
early signing
wait.
period is it squeezed out a lot. That was the one thing that was good. I think it squeezed them from waiting to the last second to
like
sign.
dragging it out.
Yeah, I think that part. I'm just trying to see if I can get if there's anything other
And
than not. Well, X is now is like a political feed for me.
I can't even imagine what your algorithm.
Elon Musk 50,000 times and that tweeting 50,000 times a day.
It's insane.
He does tweet a lot. I'm not kidding when I say that. Like I've never seen
Who?
him tweet. Eli.
Oh my God, Elon.
Eli. I'm sorry. Did I say Eli? Yeah, Elon Musk.
Eli. I was like, who the hell is Eli?
Elon Musk.
Is this his clone twin that I'm sure he has in the works?
Yeah, yes, I'm sure he does. I need more work to get done. You're cloned. Yeah. You are now Eli Musk.
Yes.
No, Elon Musk. But you know what? I'm looking now. You know what? A lot of it is the signing day. It's other sports and the school. Like the school comes in with all their kids that are signing somewhere, and it's like a celebration kind of thing. I'm looking like online, but it's no longer like there's very few. Arkansas Pine Bluff signee.
Right, you're gonna see like your D, a lot of more of your like your D2s. Like I've seen some Kutztown guys, some Westchester guys, right? Like your PSAC schools. Now this is like now they're in this whole thing. Like, hey, dude, you guys enjoy signing day for a little bit.
Right, Central Oklahoma.
Meanwhile, the guys that are signing there are just so pissed that they didn't get an FBS, like that they're just like, fuck.
Is Compagna signing today?
Yeah, he signed.
He signed? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Stonehill.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I see like Merrimack.
Yep.
And then
like those NEC schools.
Right. Is Merrimack D1 yet or no?
Yeah, Merrimack is. They're in the NEC.
Yeah. So there is a lot. It's like all over my feed, but it's like
Pierce.
It's right. Pierce there. We'll be over 40, by the way. Beasts in 3 years, but and maybe as much as 50. I'm still going through it. That have come through our programs. I'm amazed that kids that just don't just immediately sign up, like immediately.
The what do they say?
I guess we have to pub that too.
I don't freaking know.
I'm gonna start putting like all the guys that have gone. It's interesting. So yeah,
You did see you saw the Ivy League opted out of the NIL stuff, right? Out of the house settlement.
Oh no, I didn't see it.
Yeah. They like opted out to not means they're kind of going to be like on their own.
Oh really?
What they don't want to like they didn't. It's something along the lines of like how those guys are fighting for back pay and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
Pretty sure they just said like, nah, we're good. Like we're gonna keep doing our own thing. We're gonna do whatever.
Interesting.
It's that's what those guys do. They're smart enough to figure it out, so I'd kind of go with whatever they're thinking.
They have their world, although they're going to be in the playoffs now, which will be
I think really changes some things, dude.
I definitely think
those dudes can play.
Yeah. What? Oh, all right. We got a Washington State commit.
Oh, there you go, buddy. Go out to pull them.
A Washington State signee, a lineman. Yeah, it's kind of like not that exciting, which is weird.
It's kind of
really weird. Really weird, like really weird stuff.
Used to be watching Mike Smith have like 15 dudes on a stage with. Yeah.
Does he still? I guess when they're done, they don't even bother. I guess.
Because what is it like? It's not like that used to be even like a further recruiting tool, right? Like, hey, this guy signed here, I'm gonna go here, right? Like, I want to play with that kid, right? Like, we can do something special. Like, these guys all talk all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. What was I gonna say? Slow death. Oh, did you see this stuff on Matt Rule with the spring games?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not doing it. It is like, I don't want to do it. It's an opportunity for guys to basically come in and recruit my kids illegally, right?
Right.
So why am I gonna present them out there like it's a freaking meat market?
That's absolutely what is our chat is always weird. We get so many.
You get weird humans in there.
We get weird humans in the chat, don't we? It's crazy.
Yeah, just like what are they called? Trolls.
Yes. Well, with the UConn group, we have this guy that comes on called Chris D, and we can't figure out who it is. He knows us. He definitely went to UConn. I don't know if he played, but he knows everything about UConn. So it's like 90 comments that you're commenting on. I find it funny because like most of the other ones are trolls. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what know, what is going on? It's so weird, the whole troll thing.
If you're spending that much energy doing that on us, like, I appreciate it, because obviously, like, you got nothing else better to do.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll read this. So, say goodbye to college football spring game. Nebraska's Matt Rule, the latest to pull the plug. And they already had changed. I'll read in a second, but they already had. Most of these guys have changed their spring game to these like weird.
It's not a game,
right?
It's, I don't know, maybe like events. I mean, how long before it turns into the Pro Bowl?
Flags.
Like, let's do tug of war.
The worst. Was that the worst?
It was. I mean, look,
my son liked it.
Those kids, those guys do, dude.
They don't know any different.
I had more enjoyment watching the girls' flag.
Was that Peyton Manning's daughter throwing dimes?
No, no. Eli was like on the sideline. Russell Wilson was out there with his kid. Like, they were just. But it was the legit like game. Like, those girls were dialing it up. Like, that was more exciting than. I mean, I watched a little bit of like the skills stuff the night before. Like, I used to enjoy watching, Harbaugh throw a ball as far as he could in Hawaii. Like,
right.
Or how many balls can Chris Carter catch?
Do you think it's not interesting anymore?
They're playing dodgeball. Although Quentin Nelson was the only one left on the AFC, which was pretty dope to see, because that dude is athletic as hell. It's like tug of war. Like, they just do like event stuff. You know what I mean? And it's not.
It's amazing how many people show up though now, because it was dying, and then.
Well, I'll tell you. Remember when, I don't remember what year it was, but when they first moved it from Hawaii to Miami, I remember Mike and I flew down and we went.
Okay.
And I don't even know if we stayed a whole quarter.
Okay.
It was like, dude, this is, I mean, look, those guys don't, they don't want to play in it anyway.
No, they're just messing around. Like,
you're screwing, like, and look, when Sean Taylor ran through the punter, rest in peace, like one of the greatest highlights still of all time. Like, that was on a different level. That's when they actually like pseudo played. But even at that, it was like, gentleman's agreement, bro. Like, you don't go hard, I don't go hard. They used to a little bit in the fourth quarter was usually the one you wanted to watch, because the winner got, 40,000, the loser got 20,000. And it was like, dude, I could use the 40. Or if I'm MVP, I get a car. Now that's okay. Like,
yeah,
40,000 to these guys, like,
it's a joke.
It's gas money.
It's gas money for that. Yeah, gas money for their.
Yeah, Maserati,
maybe, I guess.
Lambo. Now you got dudes at the University of Texas driving Lambos.
I know, they all have Lambos. So it says here, a year ago, Lane Kiffin turned spring football into a spectacle of hot dog contests, golf cart races, and tug of war championships.
See?
Embracing chaos and fun over meaningful football. Outsiders may have thought it was just another classic Kiffin move. College football's greatest showman thumbing his nose at tradition yet again, but there was clear motive behind it.
I hate that they do that. Like, they say that shit about him.
Yeah, I think he's great, dude.
I think he's phenomenal.
I mean, he's edgy. He's ahead of the game.
And I think that's why people, and look, he got a bad rap from people dislike
Tennessee. From Tennessee. They dislike
I think even
the Raiders.
When he got that job at such a young age with the Raiders, which look at the trend after the fact, right?
Right.
McVay, Shanahan, all those dudes, like, you know, the dude at the Packers, all those dudes were young. He was just they were so far ahead of it when he did it. And, he only got this because of daddy. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yep.
So I just feel like he's always gotten, like, people have always come at him like that because, I mean, you want to fault the guy because he got a job? Who cares for how you got it? Like,
exactly.
People hate that shit, dude.
They
hate
it.
They hate when people like use a network or an in or an angle or a
How
niche.
else are you getting in, dude?
It's like, why didn't you use it? You couldn't. Just because? I'm sorry. That's just how I view it, dude. Like tis their own, right? Like, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Welcome to life.
I
got fired on the tarmac, bro. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Matt Rule's all upset about like the tampering, and then
right. And because I don't think he minds the system itself. He just doesn't like look, he was the first guy we heard talk about, like, you know, guys throwing out numbers that aren't real numbers just to get it raised, right? When it came to like NIL stuff, because, you know, he has the perspective that he's been in college, he's been in the NFL, he understands, like, at least with free agent, or at least in the NFL, there's transparency. Everybody is, you know, real deal. We know what's going on. It's open. Everybody can view it. Whereas college, there's still that little bit of behind the scenes, you don't know type of stuff going on. And 100% these guys, like, why can guys hop in a portal and all of a sudden sign with a school like the next day? Nobody's talked to them. It just so happened that works. Like, no, dude, everybody does it. It's just not out in the open. So make it out in the open. Have a period of time where, okay, you can talk to guys or quote unquote free agents. You have 2 weeks to do it, just like a recruiting period. Like, figure out where on the calendar it's going to go, and then it's over and done with. Shut it down. And even when you do that or make it real, there's still going to be people that are going to do it the wrong way, dude. That's just how it is.
Well, I think the other thing is that, like, from a standpoint of what players are going to be there, half those players are going to be gone anyway. They're leaving. So you're showcasing them. They're probably, you know, like, if you're third on the depth chart and you've been there a couple of years, you're probably leaving anyway. So now we're playing them all. We're showcasing them to just leave anyway. That's kind of part of it. And then
we're actually giving them the tape that they're dreaming to have.
Right. So you could take the player that I'm working with. So that's
take the player that in another year is going to be my starting guy that I need on this team to do this or whatever, right? Or he's going to play a role for me, or just those types of things, man. Like, I get where he's coming from. Yeah,
so I mean, I think that that's going to change dramatically, because
that'll be the norm.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a show. It's going to be like, you're right. It's going to be like the damn Pro Bowl. You know, it's going to be like,
hey, linemen are out there catching punts.
And the funny thing is, I think players are,
which I actually would love to see. I think that shit's awesome. But like,
I think players are going to like that. See, that's the funny thing about it.
Because it's not, and this is where it's difficult being the older guy, right? Is because, like, when you step between that chalk, and those lines, and you put a helmet on, it was like business, dude. Like, this is how we do it. This is what it is. Now, this type of, like, almost embrace the, you know, looser, chill, like, fun type of stuff is more the norm. And that's how these kids grew up. Like, you got to sprinkle a little bit of it in, but this used to be the end all be all of a disciplined sport in terms of how, militant and all of those kind of things. Like, that's how it used to be. And I don't think it's like that anymore. And I think that's what these kids like. That's what they run on, dude. Like music at practice, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And look, like I said, I think there needs to be a happy medium. There's a middle ground. You can still be that disciplined type of, coach, and also sprinkle a little bit of that in the fun stuff or the whatever stuff where kids will and guys will still get it and have fun with it. But also, like, there needs to be a time where, dude, like, we need to plug in right now and it needs to be this way.
Right. No, there's no doubt. There's none of that. I mean, the spring ball is basically you're going to practice behind the scenes.
Right. The game was whatever. Yeah. It was the 15 practices leading up to it where, I'm fighting to be this nickel guy. I'm fighting to win a corner spot, or you know what I mean? Like, we really do have a QB battle going on right here.
Absolutely.
The real work comes in those, 2 scrimmages that happen, after the first 5 practices on Saturday. That's the one you want to go to as a coach, or you want to go to as like whoever to watch what's really going on. The spring game is more like to be a big recruiting tool, right? Come to our spring game, check it out. What's going on? These are the guys on the roster. This is who's going to be here. You also knew that guys in the spring were going to be there on your roster. They weren't going to be gone in the summer, right? Nobody was like, "Oh, I'm transferring out because now I know I didn't win the job."
Exactly.
They're like, "All right, I got to work harder."
No, it's totally different.
Or I'm going to stay here in the summer now and take my classes, and I'm gonna work with the strength coach all summer so that when camp hits in August, I'm good to go.
Right. It's interesting.
Spring game was for fans, dude.
Coaching. Any new things on like?
I didn't even check Scoop today.
I wonder if there's anything new on.
That's
Scoop.
A crazy world too.
Football Scoop.
Just just coaching. I don't even want to say carousel anymore because like at least the carousel stayed like going in a circle. Like this thing, you never know what the hell's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, it's just wild, dude. Coaches, not only are they going anywhere, you don't know. Now it's like who knows how they're gonna hire the coach. It's just changed dramatically from that standpoint too.
Right. Like, you could think like, dude, I am going to get this gig. Oh, no, we're going to hire this guy. He played in the NFL. He can bring in more money.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's.
I mean, Andy Reid's coming back. He already said it. So.
Is he?
Damn, bro. It's like, dude, win another one and just go. You're good. You're good.
Go do
TV, bro, and endorse any cheeseburger.
He doesn't want. I mean, you know what? Because he's
a lifer.
He's got so many good staffers. Like he doesn't have to like he's got to come up with He has a great system. He's got guys to implement his system, and then he doesn't have to worry about.
Although, who is the one guy we always talk about that just can't? Once he left him, he can't make it happen, and he was a hot name for a long time.
The enemy. Because they just run his system. That's the thing. Like they're not calling it on game day.
No, he calls it.
He still calls it. Like they run the practice scripts. They run the plays that he has. But when it comes to when it comes to calling it on game day, going with this or that or whatever,
that's him.
That's all him.
I think one of the most underrated coaches of all time is Steve Spagnuolo.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Dave, like, look at how many rings this guy is going to have if he wins this other one. Like,
he was the DC at the University of Connecticut before I got there. How did we let him? He must have got another job. That's why he left.
I believe he was at Rutgers as well.
Oh, he was. He must have just kept getting new jobs. That's all it was. Nobody
climbing the ladder.
He was the DC at UConn before I was there, which means he had to be in his 20s. He had, because he's not that old.
Listen, so Hudson was 25.
I know, young.
I can't imagine. Like, what were you doing, Derek, at 25? okay. Okay. Like,
What was I
sure as hell we're in a high-level college coach where dudes 5 years younger than me were like hanging out.
No, I definitely wasn't. What the hell was I doing? Oh, I was working in New York City at the time.
Yeah, that's when you were that guy making actual money.
I was corporate, man.
Me too. Hoffman LaRoche.
Oh, you were Hoffman LaRoche?
Pharmaceuticals, baby. Stupid money.
I know.
I was working for the VP of Global Distribution. Amazing.
It's funny because sports is so addictive, and I don't have any like regrets or anything like from it.
Me neither.
But I realized that at the time you didn't realize that like when you thought you were getting and leaving business because you were like, oh, business is just all about like how much money you can make. And then you're in sports, and then you're like, I think in the early years of sports, it wasn't like that when when you first got into it, when I first got into it, but I think in the last 15 years, it really changed so much, or maybe even less 10. So it changed so much. It's like, if I knew it was going to be crazy like this, I probably would have just stayed in corporate or started my own company in different space. You know what I mean?
But you never knew how it was going to evolve.
Because yeah. I mean,
you probably thought you were going to be running camps the rest of your life.
Yeah, and like making I didn't realize that I was going to have to pay players to come to camps. I thought they would be paying to come to camps. So, which they were in the beginning, which they were for a long time. But when you get to high school, you can't get a top tier kid. You better be paying them to come to something.
They're paying them to go to college now, let alone a camp.
Yeah. If you want them to show up at something,
these guys are starting to pay to talk to me.
Yeah, and I'm curious 7-on-7 this year when we go in the 18U, what is actually there. Yeah. My guess is it's all guys that have nothing. Other than a few, because the ones that do have offers play in that little national tour thing,
or they'll play one or two,
yeah, maybe one or two, just to stay fresh.
Maybe they're bored,
or to stay fresh,
Your guy was Spagnuolo was at Connecticut.
He was.
He was the defensive backs coach from 87 to 91.
So he was there a long time.
And he was the DC 89 and 91. So he did D-backs and he was the DC. 91 was his last year. Then he went to the Barcelona Dragons for a year. And then he was at Maine as the D-line coach, special teams coach, 93, D-backs coach, 94. Then he was the DC and linebackers coach at Rutgers, 94 to 95.
94-95, which would have been with
Shea?
Graber? Might be Graber.
Then Bowling Green for a year. Back to Europe for the Frankfurt Galaxy. And then he was with the Eagles 99 to 2000, 2001, 2003, 2004, 2006. Left the Eagles in 6 to go to the Giants for 07, 08. That's when he got the Rams job. Remember? He was the head coach of the Rams from 09, 11. That was god-awful. And then Saints DC for a year. Then he spent 2 years with the Ravens. I didn't know that. Okay. And then, he had the hideout after being a head coach, right? Then he went back to the Giants 2015, 2017. And then he's been with the Chiefs since 2019.
Interesting.
And you know where he's a graduate from? Springfield College.
I thought maybe since he was in New England, it had to be one of those schools.
He's a Massachusetts guy originally.
Okay, yeah. I figured he had.
He did a grad assistant at UMass, player personnel intern with the Redskins, and then he was with Lafayette 84, 86. That's where he was before Connecticut. So this dude's been coaching since This dude started. He already had 3 years in when I was born.
He had 3 years in when you were born. 80. So that means he was. So he's 12 years older than me. He's in his 60s.
Oh yeah, he was. What is 50? He's 65.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he was. So in 91 is last year at UConn, which was 34 years
91.
ago. So he wasn't that. Yeah, he was 31. He was already 31 when he was a DC there. 30, 31. That's still pretty young, but
31s were a lot more mature than 31s are now. I'll tell you that though.
Back then, yeah. I mean,
back then, he probably
31-year-olds now are still trying to figure.
Still living home. Don't knock it.
That's, yeah.
Live in that basement, people. Delivering pizzas.
People, yeah. I mean,
no offense to anybody that's doing that.
No offense.
The timetable is different.
Whatever you got to do, dude. I'll tell you this. I would have liked to keep some of my cash.
Imagine if you could have lived with Pops when you were 30.
My dad for a few years. I was
going to say, imagine, think about it. If you could have lived with your dad till you were 30.
Well, no, I came back after I was in the city. I came back and I was in Lyndhurst.
You were living in the city too? No,
yeah. No, I lived in the city.
What the hell's wrong with you? Are you crazy?
I lived in New York City.
Yeah.
25? I lived in New York City. When I first got out of
grad school,
when I first got out of grad school, my first job was in Virginia. So I took a job in Virginia with a tech company. That was great. I lived in North Virginia, but I didn't see I felt like I was too, like, that would have been a good place to be when you were ready to get married. I wasn't,
after that first initial post-grad school phase, the next one is when you should have lived in Virginia.
Yes. So I was there, and we would go to DC, which was DC was fun. We had a great time. I go down to Georgetown all the time. I actually had a couple, like the one thing about the job I took, all the new hires, which was really cool. It was it wasn't an enormous company, but it was a decent, yeah. You all came in, like, you had like a, not
dorm life.
No, you had like a week of training when you first came in on the company, what they expected, which is actually really smart. So you didn't just get thrown into it. And then you had your then everybody got their assignments kind of for their projects.
That's cool.
But that first week was pretty cool because you would go, then you would have like lunch, like you have these breaks after these like seminar things, and you got to know everybody, and then you all went out, like they had like events for you, and you went out, like, they had a happy hour. So you got to know a lot of people. So that year I was there, whatever it was, maybe a little more than a year. I had a crew of people I had a couple of people I hung out with. So It was pretty cool. Like that was, I kind of took it for granted back then because you came from college. You just thought it'll always be that way. But like, I had a crew of people that I hung out with. Believe it or not, some of them still like follow, like we're still like friends on Facebook and stuff. Like they're all doing different things. But like I had a kind of a crew that I hung out with, which I actually, there was one guy I hung out with. He was about at least 6 or 7 years old. No, I was 20. Yeah, he was in his early 30s. And man, he was fun. Like he had been around, you know what I'm saying? Like he already had been working. This was a new company that he was coming into. No. And dude, this guy, his name was Dave Phelps. And they would be like, oh no, here come the two Daves. But he was already, like, he knew his way around things. Like I didn't know my way around anything. He knew his way around stuff.
Yeah, but when you're going into that world, dude, new, like it's just, you're going blind. This is something interesting, Dave. Do you know who this guy is? Where is it? It's okay. Hang on. Like it. UConn Director of Recruiting / High School Relations, Jaleel Wadud, Wadood, Wadood, is set to join the staff of Jedd Fisch in Washington.
I don't know who that is. I do not know who that is. What was his job? High school relations?
High school director of UConn, director of recruiting / high school relations. So I'm guessing like a Rick Mance.
Might be a lower. Is he young?
I'm sure. But he's going all the way West Coast, so he's got to have a relationship with Jedd Fisch, who is a Jersey guy, Bergen Catholic guy anyway.
Jedd Fisch is?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Look it up, dude.
Jedd Fisch? How come I don't know that?
Listen, you go through this now and you see
your age. Is he more your age? Is he your age?
No, Jedd Fisch is older than me, dude.
Is he older than me?
Yeah, probably right around you.
He's younger than me. He's 2 years younger than me.
Is he?
Yes. Now.
I also find it interesting. Like this is where you see all like the grad assistant positions open. Like Wagner College, 3 graduate assistant positions. The positions available are what? Football ops, equipment manager, video coordinator.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, right. Here's another one. New Haven, 2 graduate assistant positions open. It will cover the entire cost of tuition for the master's program. What do you think the yearly stipend is?
What?
$5,000 and occasional $5,000 and occasional meals with
and
no housing provided.
Which school? What school?
New Haven.
Ooh, sounds fun. Wow. Okay. So
interesting, right, dude? When I learned that, I thought that was so cool, so interesting.
Where does it say Bergen? Maybe I'm high enough up. Oh, he played at. No, he went to Hanover Park.
Oh well, close enough. Okay, hang on. He has a relationship with Bergen. Maybe his stepfather was at Bergen. Something along those lines, dude.
He did not play football at high school or college level. That's why I don't know who he is.
He's a Mike Leach.
How the fuck does that happen?
And he's got numerous.
I get Mike Leach was great. He was in. I just want to see.
Mike, I mean, look, dude, Jedd Fisch has been.
These guys all now are student assistants. That's what basically now. If you want to be a college coach, at least I don't know, maybe even NFL coach. Yeah, I guess NFL because he was an NFL coach. If you want to be a college or NFL coach, the fastest way to get in is to come out of high school. If you played high school ball, it's probably a little bit of an advantage for you.
Don't play college.
You go to whatever college you're going to, whatever school. He went to University of Florida. And you go right over to the head coach's office and you say to the secretary, I would like to be an unpaid assistant coach, anything. Water boy.
I will look for me because of like I just loved it. Dude, if I could be an equipment manager, yeah, I would. I mean, I just think that stuff is amazing. Like, I had so much fun working in the equipment room. And that stuff now is wild. Like, imagine being the equipment guy at Oregon. Like, what unis we wearing today?
It's amazing. So basically what they're saying is coaching. See, it's so interesting because they hire celebrity coaches, but when they're basically saying that coaches don't need to have played at all.
100%
to get experience. So but as long as
it's a great topic, actually.
Yeah, as you go into coaching,
it's a phenomenal topic to talk about and discuss, right? Like, do you feel, right, like, do you have to have played the game at a high level to be a high-level coach?
Well, I'll use a sport that I did not play. I mean, other than intramurally or anything like that, and that I am coaching a little bit, and I feel like I can do it. Which is basketball. I feel like I could do basketball. I feel like as I learn basketball more and more, I feel like without ever having played, well, I mean, I guess I played intramurally, but like haven't played like, right. On a team.
Like, look, like you didn't play on the high school team.
No, did not. So
see, like, and I think I love it.
I do feel like I can coach it because I know, like, once I coach football, like once
I think if you've coached football, you can coach anything.
I like the concepts to me, and Shane Stafford actually broke it down because he was
not even so much the concepts. I just think the whole, like, everything. Look, because I think you can go and study any sport and learn the quote unquote X's and O's of it. Yep. But if I can manage a roster, structure, motivation, all the things we talked about that are intangibles, like, I can teach you the X's and O's. I can go and YouTube 3,000 videos of how to, whatever. I don't need to have played that. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Right. Now, football,
I think playing helps you. I'm using basketball. Helps you get a feel for situationally.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Learn. So, like, without having played basketball at a high school level, I have to watch and figure out situationally.
And even some of that, like you don't know the feeling, like what it's like to have to hit 2 free throws with 2 seconds to go and you're down by 1.
Well, I do because I played like really high level.
Dude, it ain't the same of. I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure the pressure, but I understand it from playing football, and I understand 100%.
It. Like, if you've ever been returning a punt by yourself, you get it.
Yeah, I've been in 4th and 1 when on defense where basically I was going to be fired, which I did get fired for 2 quarters of my job my senior year, and I was having like I felt like it was a terrible game for me, but when you watch the film, it was probably an average game. But I knew I was getting fired.
Out to an 80.
I knew I was. I don't know if I even graded out an 80 that day, but I knew I was going to be fired. And it was a 4th and 1, and I don't think I ever told you this. 4th and 1, we're playing Maine, and these big old boys, like, they were just running power and counter power, and they were leaning on me, and I was getting frustrated, and I was making mistakes, and basically the end of the game was 4th and 1, and I knew they were just going to run. They were just going to run it. And if we stopped them and scored, we had a chance to tie the game. So it was in midfield somewhere, and they ran it. I don't remember if it was power, but it didn't matter what it was. I was running in the backfield and going through. I wasn't reading anything. I was just going to make play, and I fucking walloped the guy in the backfield for a loss, and which is sometimes I don't know why I just didn't play like that all the time, but. Because you're always like, read your keys, which I did. But so I just ran in there, walloped the guy for a loss. We got the ball.
We were smart, and that was the problem. Sometimes that was a bad thing.
Sometimes it was a negative. Yep. It wasn't.
Like, I would overthink it.
Yep. After that,
like, just go make a fucking play, dude.
After I got benched for the half after that next game, when I got my job back, the second half of that game, I never played like that again. I just played.
Free.
Free. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm like, like all the stuff they bog you down with, like it was just too much. But anyway,
I felt the exact same way.
We go down and we score. Shane drives him right down the field. Shane was a great quarterback. Drove him right down the field. Boom, 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 score. Right? With no time left, okay, on the clock. All we have to do is make the extra point to go to overtime and save my job. That's how I thought about it. If this fucker just makes the extra point, my job is saved because we had the momentum. Like,
yeah.
And we had turned it around. We came back from behind, and we're gonna win it in overtime. Dink. He kicks it, clanks it on the fucking thing, and like, you're a team guy, I'm a team guy, but the first thing that went in my head is,
like,
motherfucker. Fucking lost my job. That motherfucker. I like. It didn't matter that I made the play because the rest of the game.
Hell no.
because we still lost, right? If we won, you made
shouldn't
that
even have
play.
been in 4th and 1 if he would have
Yes,
made those
it would have
plays.
mattered, but we lost, so it did not matter. You know how it is, coach. It did not matter. So it did not matter, and I was just like, fuck. The whole day, I was just like, fuck. I remember my dad's like, I'm on the bench next week. I guarantee.
You're like, I'm done. There's no way I'm playing.
Yeah, and I remember them coming in. I'm warming up, stretching. The stretching. Like, and the coach, they come around they shake.
Hey, guess what?
Dude,
we're gonna go with so and so.
Yes, exactly. So we're gonna give him some reps at the ones.
And all of a sudden, like that first day, it's like, hey,
you're not a 2, but like
2 and 2. Then it becomes all right. He's gonna get the first 2. You'll get the next 2. Then it's okay. Well, he needs more reps. We got to get him ready. So you just hang out over here. You're like,
it's like, yeah. So it's like, but he's like, I'm sure you'll earn it back. I'm like,
you're like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Dude, by the way, I was never a mean player to the scout. Like, I would, play hard.
Oh, no, dude. That's when you literally are like, all right, dude, like, hey, I'm sorry, but like, get ready.
Fucked everybody up.
Get ready. Yep.
But until I got my job back, like, I remember because I would talk to my dad, I don't know, every day in college, but like almost every day. And I'm like, I'm going to fuck everybody up in practice all day. Like, I always, practice hard. I didn't.
Right. No, but there was also like a healthy, like, hey, dude.
I didn't try to make anybody, like, kill anybody.
No, this was like, dude, I'm taking helmets off.
I was hitting after the play.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's how I felt.
Like, yo. And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care, bro. That's how I felt that week. My freshman year at Sacred Heart, when I first got there, right? There was 2 things that really like sent me through to the moon. The first was there was this kid, a freshman with me, and they like every coach knew his name. Everybody was like, this guy. And I'm like, who? Like, okay, whatever. And he was a wideout. I was a DB. And I'm like, all right, one-on-ones, like lights out. Right. And then the second thing was when I got my cleats, they had number 109 on the back of them. And I'm like, what's 109? They're like, oh, there's a senior receiver who wears number 9. He's going to wear it in white. You wear it in red. And because, whatever. And I said, well, what about game day? They're like, oh, you're a freshman, dude. We don't have to worry about like that. And I'm like, why? They're like, well, because, freshmen don't really play. I'm like, huh, really? I said, dude, you better get a number because, like, this is what's going to happen. And that set me, dude, I didn't care what day of the week it was. If we were in shorts and T-shirts, it was over. I'm like, really? First off, like, I had a chip on my shoulder anyway because I was, like, paying my own way after doing whatever I did, right? And then, wait, this kid's the kid whose name you know, and now you don't even give me a number? Like, dude, I remember going back to the dorm with my boy, and he's like, dude, you good? And I'm like, I don't know. I might need a minute. Like, I need a minute here, dude. Because, like, I'm just telling you, I'm going to go hard. And I'm going to be an hour early to everything, and I'm going to stay late, and I'm going to freaking – I don't care if they yell, hey, we need an extra D-line guy on scout. I'm running out there, dude. I'm running. I don't care. That guy's supposed to be like an all-conference running back. Like, oh, don't hit him. Bull, dude, I don't care. I don't care. And I'll never forget it. That kid as a running back, the first time I hit him, like full go, he got up and he didn't didn't throw a ball at me. Wasn't like he was just like kind of in shock. Like, this kid just tackled me and he's a freshman. Like, and then I'll never forget after practice, dude. And he was a monster, dude, a monster. And he was like, hey, like, rookie. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's like, good shit. Like, I appreciate that. He's like, most guys would never do that. I'm like, dude, I'm just here to like earn a spot and win. Like, I don't like to lose, dude. He's like, that's what we need more of. Like, I gained a lot of respect from the upper guys by doing it that way rather than just like, whatever. But dude, that 109, bro, set me the fuck off. And it was in like white marker on black cleats, so you could see that shit. I was pissed, dude. Pissed.
Yeah, it's funny because if you didn't play so that's the part about like I think with football that translates to coaching any sport, like that mentality, that like toughness and determination, which I think you can translate to coaching almost any sport. I don't know if I could coach gymnastics just because the intricacies might be too difficult. But
Need some more rhinestones on this leotard.
Yeah, I don't think I can mentally handle any of that. But
you're like, come on, toughen up. You just crotched the beam, but let's go. It's
but outside of that,
you just landed a vault with a broken ankle. Nice job, but like we got to do better. Shit.
Outside of that, and maybe
I think those sports where there's like judges, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
at least with track, like you win or you lose.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like wrestling, you get pinned or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Anything with like a scoring system in terms of where there's like some things that are left up to like interpretation. Like I used to get fired up, dude. I'd be like with my wife or with my sister because they were gymnasts, and I'd be like, this shit all looks the same unless somebody falls. Like it all looks the same to me. Oh no, she got a point deduction here because her leg wasn't this. I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you see that? Like, whatever. I'm okay. I'm like, but I used to get fired up. I'm like, that looked great. And they're like, nah, that wasn't a very good routine. Like basketball, you make the shot, you miss the shot, right? Like,
yeah, I like basketball because to me, it's a lot like football. But
do you think you could do baseball? Where I think anybody could do baseball now because it's numbers. All right, this is what it is. Analytics, go. I don't think there's any of that.
I don't know if I could. So
there's no more Joe Torre to it or Derek Jeter where you got to feel something. You know, like Jeter talks about that a lot. Like at the end of the day, there is still some like that. Hey, maybe this guy's a hot hand right now coming out of the bullpen. Or this guy's rolling like I know he's at his pitch count, but like I'm not pulling him right now. I don't know if that is what it is.
Feel for that. I think I could do baseball. I choose.
I would never want to do
coach baseball just because of the length of it, but I think I could do it. I think probably if I was coaching, I probably would enjoy it, but because there's things about like if you're coaching, I think that are like there's a lot to it, which is cool. Like there's a lot of different positions, and there's a lot.
I'd love to be the bench coach on a baseball team.
I think coaching baseball probably would be fun. I think I
can eat seeds for 9 innings every day.
I could do it. I just am like there's only so many things I think I could do in my time, but I think it would be fun to coach it.
I would really like to experience.
I don't think I could be an assistant in baseball.
Like you don't think you could be like a pitching coach?
I know I could be a pitching coach. I think I could be a pitching coach. That kind of assist. I think being like like I don't know.
Wow,
it'd be hard to say locked in if you're like just like
dude. I'm 2 squirrels for baseball.
Yeah, like if I'm pitching coach, I would be locked in because you're busy. Pitching coach, you're busy.
Guy in the 10th row behind the dugout, dude. He's got no shirt on and he's got a beer this big, dude. Look at that, dude. I'd be like,
Yeah.
It used to drive my old man nuts because he was the ultimate baseball guy, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I'm like, Dad, I can't do this.
Yeah, my mind didn't work.
I'm like praying they hit it.
Yeah, I mean, even when I played,
maybe if I was a catcher.
I play. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
because then I'd be involved in every
play. When you're a pitcher, you're involved in every play. I played softball, corporate softball.
I did that
in Virginia, and we won the championship. By the way, this was great. The first year I played it in Virginia,
you're out there stealing bases and shit.
The first year I played it, I was on a terrible team. The second year I was on the company team because I played so good on this other team. They're like, "Wow, I heard you were good." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come play." So I played, and
fun.
We had the guy who was the leading home run hitter in the whole league was on our team. He played basketball at East Carolina, and then I was the second. I had the second most. He had 25 at 18, and but it was crazy. The fields were so short. Like if you got a hold of it right.
Oh, good night.
Yeah, the first few games I didn't hit home runs, and he pulled me aside. The guy played basketball. This guy was 6'6". He played basketball in East Carolina. And he pulled me aside. He's like, listen, softball's different than baseball. He's like, you got to hit it flat, and it'll just go because it's coming in at an arc. Yeah. If you hit it like you would hit a baseball, you're just going to hit a high pop fly. He's
Every
like,
time.
hit it flat, and you'll go take it. He showed
me
that, dude. It was just home run city, dude. It was great.
My sister's ex was on our team. He was a hell of a running back in high school. He played outside linebacker at Colgate. This dude used to hit bombs. Like they're still going. And I'm like, oof. Like, and he had a rocket arm like a cannon. Like, I think I was playing softball, dude. I was playing in a softball league still my senior year of college, right? Because I would go from spring practice to a softball.
Oh, did you really? That's funny. That's fun.
And it would be
that's something you could only do with the. Oh, well, you were senior. So
there would be like 8 of us, dude. Like the whole lineup was like, and it was like, who's gonna? I mean, that's where you. Like, I know we always talk about athleticism and whatnot, but like when you saw like D linemen out there playing softball and like, you know, fielding ground balls and being smooth with it and stuff, it was like, shit, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like freaking Wombo could hit a ball. Like you could.
Oh, I'm sure he could. He's a good athlete. He's a big dude. He's a big
dude. Hooper. He was a wrestler. I mean, imagine wrestling that dude. His hands are ginormous.
Did he wrestle? He wrestled in high school, I guess. Heavyweight.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, look, he's the biggest. Like, look, you're walking through Keensburg High School, dude. I don't think there's many people that were bigger than Wombo.
He's like Mountain from Game of Thrones.
100%. I mean, dude, like literally. I mean, and look, it was D3, but you know, we would show up to every game, and he was the biggest human.
That was one of my. Did you watch the series Game of Thrones? Did you watch it all or no? Did you ever see it?
Game of Thrones, I did not.
You should watch it. There's look,
it's one of those like
that you'd like to watch
everything, right? But like that's one of those ones that's it's hard because Jen doesn't do that stuff, right? Like because that's a little bit of like fantasy type too, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fantasy person. So
me neither.
So I'm not into it at all. And I try this is how I actually started watching it. I tried to watch it a couple times.
We talk about everything.
Yes, I try. I know, which is great. People like it. They stay on. So I tried to watch
it for the next random thing.
Random thought. Well, I mean, what else is there to be alive for?
There he is.
So I tried to watch it like when it was in like season 3 and like just pick it up. And I couldn't, or whatever it was, 2 or 3. I tried to pick it up and I hated it. I didn't watch it.
Left a bad taste in your mouth.
No, it was just I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm not into fantasy stuff that whatever you call it, not adventure, whatever. So I was just like, I'm not really into this stuff. But then I can't remember who said it to me. They're like, you gotta watch it from the beginning. You watch it from the beginning. Right. A guy I worked with, this guy Tony, who you would love, by the way. He's from Hawthorne. He said you got to watch it from the beginning. You watch it from the beginning, and you'll be in. So I watched from the beginning, and without giving it away, some crazy shit happens. Like one of the star characters, in episode 2 or 3, and it happened, and I was like, I'm fucking in. I'm in. And yep. I was like, no way. Like, how did they do that? How did they get rid of the guy, the man? Like, you know, most of these shows you don't get rid of like the person who's perceived as the man right away.
Of course, they killed him off every season.
They killed him off. I was shocked. I was like, this guy's awesome.
I always think that's a great move because now you can just kind of restart it and be like, all right, like we do a season with this guy, and if people don't like him, we'll kill him off, right? Like, you know.
They kill people.
I mean, think about like The Sopranos did that a little bit. You kept your main group of guys, but like the one guy that somebody like started to like
it would have been
like they killed him off.
It would have been like killing Tony Soprano in the first season. That's what this was like. That's the only way I could equate it. That's what hooked me in. It would have been like if you killed Tony Soprano.
Although there's some really good stuff out right now. I don't know if you've seen it on Paramount. Landman with Billy Bob Thornton.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but I heard it's good.
I love Billy Bob Thornton, and I am infatuated with like Texas. I'm sorry.
Oh, Texas is the best. You've never been still, right?
Never.
We got to get you to Texas. I'm trying to think of how we could do this.
Speaking of like Texas and football and all those kind of things, dude, like Bosco, right, signed to play a team in Texas this year. Like first time ever. And I can remember getting to Bosco.
Bosco's loaded.
Dude.
Loaded.
Oh, yeah. They're back, buddy. I said, I asked Drew, I said, dude, why don't we, like, we play all these national games, right? Like, you beat De La Salle, right? Like, we're playing St. Thomas Aquinas. Like, why don't we play these Texas teams? He's like, dude, rules. And I'm like, he's like, dude, they can cut outside the box.
It's regular football.
For us to figure that out is a lot of shit, So we had him on, Spencer Scannell, who played for me and is now like, DCing over there and doing whatever. I hit him up right away and he's like, yeah, first game of the year, we're going to Texas, school, I believe, north of Dallas. And they're going to I have all of camp 2 to kind of rep it. Let me see, because I talked to him the other day because I was seeing if they were full. Where is it? Melissa.
Oh, Melissa, beautiful high school. Beautiful high school.
So they're going to go down there. And then I believe they have a Florida team coming up here. That's how you can gauge where they feel like they're at. You know what I mean?
Let's see. Melissa, last year, they weren't that great. They were 6-4.
Yeah, but who are their 4 losses to? Right?
I'll tell you by looking. Parkview. I don't know who Parkview is. They killed Frisco, who's usually pretty good.
Frisco is where the Dallas Cowboy or the Star is, right? Like the facility.
Yeah, really rich. Maybe the richest. It's one of the two. Them and Allen are like the richest. They didn't play a crazy. They lost to Warnock Grove. They lost to Emerson. So the conference, that's the just the juggernaut.
With like Allen in them.
There's 2. Yeah. So let's see what the district with. I think there's 2 districts that are juggernauts. Duncanville.
Oh, Duncanville's stacked.
So their head coach, Coach Samples, is the best recruiter in all of Texas. And so he got all the kids to move in to – they have open enrollment. So to be able to enroll in middle school to roll. So every good kid plays for their middle school. And basically
amazing.
They find out, who the guys are. Those guys obviously continue to move on, and then the other kids probably go, either back to their districts or what.
Right.
Duncanville's also,
it's a private now. Duncanville, like these are public
ISD.
Schools or private schools in Texas. Like, how does that work?
The public schools are the powerhouses.
Got it.
They're all ISDs, which are called independent school districts. So
you can just send somebody there, pay tuition, and go.
I don't know how Duncanville works. I don't think those kids are. They have some sort of open enrollment. I don't know how it works there exactly.
The majority of public, so
all the powerhouses are public schools.
Related to Jersey.
Duncanville's
like if a kid wanted to, like if a kid lived in, but wanted to go to Rumson.
If you lived in Middletown and you wanted to go to Rumson, you could go. I just don't know if they have to pay.
Got it.
Or not. I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with the county.
Dude,
the county.
Melissa's stadium is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. Melissa's beautiful. They're probably gonna beat Melissa though, is my
Right.
guess.
I mean, dude,
I would like to see Bergen Catholic or Don Bosco play Duncanville, because Duncanville it's insane what they have talent wise there. So the school is like 5,000 people. You know, the town of Duncanville is only 40,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like a lot of people,
town
I
is
don't
only
think understand
40,000.
the size. It's kind of like when we talk about going more towards South Jersey with the regional schools, right? Like there's a lot more 5s, 4s, right? Bigger schools. Whereas, where we're from, dude, you throw a rock and you hit 3 high schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Duncanville. I'm curious how you could go. I wonder if you can go there. Oh, I have another pod.
I mean, look, it's the same with, Florida. Like Florida, as long as you live within the county, you can go to any of those schools. Now, when we talk to Mike Smith, American Heritage is a private school, like St. Thomas is a private school. They have different parameters, obviously, for getting in and going and doing all those things, right?
Right.
Like it's not, but when it comes to the playoffs in Florida, private and public all go, it doesn't matter. It's all the same brackets, right? Whereas up here, it's separated.
Right.
Because obviously, if you did it that way up here, the private are going to win every year.
Yeah. There's no, it's not.
I mean, think about it. If you went by enrollment and numbers, my God, these guys aren't going to be like, Bergen in those schools aren't group 5s.
Right.
Like they'd be playing like Old Japan or a Rumson.
It wouldn't even be like
and those guys are dominant at those levels as a public school. Like it wouldn't even be like, I kind of look back and I'm like, wow, I remember when like Wayne Hills used to play St. Joe's, and that was always like a really big thing, and Hills you would win.
Right.
Or like I was a group 1. We used to play DePaul and beat them on the regular. Like not even the same world, dude.
Yeah, DePaul, it's amazing.
I mean, you look at some of those early Bosco teams. I mean, they would beat the hell out of Hackensack and, Montclair, Passaic County Tech, like all of these monster group 5s, dude.
Yeah, that world
changed.
Yeah, that changed. The public's can't. So that, like,
Dave, and my year at Bosco, we played Fairlawn.
It's absurd.
And no offense to Fairlawn, by any means.
Fairlawn was, to give you an idea, when I was in Indian Hills.
You're making it work with what you got.
That was our certain win. That was our certain win.
I mean, I'm like, true. He's like 1 series. They get 1 series. 1. And we're not game planning this week.
We're not. Okay. Yeah, we're game planning. Whoever's next week, that's who we're game planning for.
We came back from Florida playing DePaul, and I'm like, all right, what are we doing? He's like, we're not game planning. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we're good. Okay. 50 points. Sorry, Coach McKenna.
Was he the coach back then too?
That was his last. That was the last year. Yeah, remember he only retired in 2019. Nicky only took over a COVID year. But that was the last year where McKenna was like, Coach McKenna was like, all right, we gotta do something with this roster. Like if I have to play the Big North, then I gotta do something. You know what I mean? Like we need to dive into where we need to. Coach Murray, you're the GM. You're on it. Go get him.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up because I got to run to a new.
Oh no.
Husky hoops. We got to talk that amazing win over Marquette with Solo Ball lighting it up.
Marquette's a bunch of dogs, dude.
Yeah, no, that one dude they had.
Division III head coach resigns to return to high school football in Texas. Interesting.
What school is that?
Howard Payne head coach Kevin Depascale has resigned from his post to return to Texas high school football.
Very hard to win at Howard Payne.
He went 40-17 at Edgewood.
I don't even know what Edgewood is.
Coach, it's been a pleasure. Signing day, quiet.
There is none.
Quiet. Although, shout out to another Boardwalk Beast signing, Joey Grosso, Westchester.
Westchester. Awesome.
A great pick. I think it's a great pick. He didn't try and shoot too high, right where he needs to be. He'll come back looking like this. And, hopefully now the little brother will get one.
Phenomenal. I'll do something on all those guys, I think, as we get it all in. So,
oh, dude, it's hard to keep track now.
It's getting hard. Yeah, it's great, though. It's great. All right, so tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a great one, Darn Capel. So
I'm excited.
We'll see you tomorrow.